My grandfather was a Muslim priest in the area, so it's pretty much Islam has to be practiced to every level there. So I follow the rules of Islam together with my cousins, my brothers and sisters and relatives, and practice it because we don't have a choice, and that's our religion, and we have to follow it. We have to, as a teenager, you have to be obedient to your parent by following the religion of Islam. I could remember in the month of Ramadan, which is a wonderful month for me, that we fast, we observe the entire Ramadan, the 5 pillars, excepting for the one for the Hajj, because I was too young to go to Hajj at that time. I believe Allah was the greatest God, and everything we need in life comes from Allah, and I think Allah was everything to us and the community, because I had no ideas about religion of another nature, like Christianity or so. Islam was everything to me, and I was a proud Muslim. I was proud because I want to be happy. I want to be blending with my family tree. So I don't want to mess that up. So I just not trying to entertain the thoughts of other religion than Islam. And the Quran, I read the Quran, I read the Hadith, and it means so much to me at that time that I was very proud being a Muslim. On my first job, I was working with a Christian man alongside with him, and he always tried to tell me about Christianities and stuff like that. And I used to make fun of him. I was saying, no way, man, Christian is not a true religion, and criticize him and tries to put him down. And I never liked to listen to him because I think he probably trying to sell me something. Until then, it was a vacation time during the month of August. There's some Christian people come into our area, into our village, and they had these tent meeting, Christian meetings. They had a lot of young people like myself. I was young that time too. Came in with puppets and guitars and music, and they had a big tent, and they was singing and having fun. So I was fortunate to sneak in and go into that crowd, which I'm not supposed to be there according to my parents. But I sneak in there, and that for the first time I've been exposed to another religion, to Christianities. I could remember this man was preaching, talking about Jesus for the first time. I heard a story about Jesus, how he healed a blind beggar and blind people, and he do good to people. And I felt a pain in my heart then for this Jesus. But after the crusade, I go home and not recognize. I went back to my home pretending that nothing happened. I couldn't let my parents know I went to this Christian stuff, Christian crusade or whatever you call it. But since then, I always, when I saw Christian people, I always have a second, something tell me that there's something good thing about these people that we should respect. And at work, after this guy witnessing to me and telling me about Jesus, I started to accept some of his tracts and read it. But I read it and just give them back sometimes. Sometimes I take it home and keep it on the shelf and store them up. But I never think of making a commitment for Christ, because I know like that is impossible with me. Because I would be the first one in our family to do something like that, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to let my family down or disgrace them, because at that time, if you become a Christian, it's like our whole family has lost something, and I will bring disgrace to them, and I will be cut out from the family tree. They will cut the limbs out with me, and I will just drop to the floor. And so I continued to practice Muslim, although I had some ideas that Christianity touched my heart. The story of Jesus touched my heart. I continued to practice Islam. My country was getting hard economically, so it's a trend that most young men at that time try to migrate to other countries. So I migrated to an island called Trinidad to work there. And when I got there, I sent for my wife and she come and joined me here. And we both were practicing Muslim in our former country. Now, we were in this other country now, all by myself, me and her, and this family always seems to be interested in us. And my wife seems to always like them for some reason. And I told my wife, if you see these people coming, please just go in the house, don't stay in the yard, so we could stop and talk to them. And she said, oh, why? She said, I so want to bring them home inside the house. And I said, no, don't do that. So one evening, they was coming down on the evening stroll, and we were out in the yard, and there's no way I could have turned to go inside when I see them. So she go and open the gate and tell them, come inside. And she bring them and serve tea, and I happened to talk to them. This guy by the name of Paul Johnson. I talked to him, and he seems to be a very nice man. And the first time I get to talk to a nice man that have a lot of humanity and good common sense and kindness. Something good about him that I misinterpret about him. So when he gone, I was kind of thinking about this guy and what he's saying. He did not tell me he's a Christian. I don't know if he's a Christian or a Muslim or what, but he just seems like a normal guy. So on his third visit, when we talked, he told me he's a missionary. So I told my wife, you know what? You better stop talking to these people because they probably want to convert us. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to do that. And so she put a deaf ears to me, and she kept being friendly with them all the time until they invited us to their home for dinner one evening. And I told him, yes, we had a wonderful time. And he told me about what he believes, and I tell him what I believe as a Muslim. And then he invited us to a tent Christian fellowship. Sometimes they say it's a tent crusade, but I don't know how you may want to term that. But I went there with my wife and them, and to my surprise, that the same bunch of people, actually the same feelings I got when I made my first contact with Christian people. I got the same feelings coming to my heart. And bright lights, puppet show, happy people shaking hands, smile, guitar, singing, clapping. And I was there, and sitting there, and when the preaching come on, this preacher was preaching, well, the Lord has brought you here for good reason. It's not by an accident you're here. God is calling you. You came a long way, and God is calling you. And I urge you, God is really speaking to your heart. Come up here, give your life to God. And by the time that, they were singing Amazing Grace, and we all stand up in the seat there, and I was in the end seat. My wife was inside at my left-hand side, and she said, let's go and give our life to the Lord. And I said, who, me? No. So she said, well, listen, I'm going. And I tried to stop her with my feet like this, and she just pushing past me. And she gone straight up, and I stood there all by myself, said, I wonder what she thinks she's doing here. If this is going to work, this is not going to work. I said to myself. So after the crusade, we go home, and I asked her, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what this will cost our family? Do you know what a disgrace I feel to know that you become a Christian? However, I just be quiet for the night. I was thinking all night. And I started to think back from being a young boy growing up. and my experience with Christian people and the pain I had in my heart and all these Christian people I met, and then see my wife encouragement at that time, and I felt that God is really trying to tell me something. I put all together, and this drove me to make a confession when I go to the meeting the next night. I walked straight up there, and I was just out there crying, confessing. I said, Lord, it's a long way indeed, and long I had wanted to do this. And the feeling since I was in that first crusade, a 10th meeting, that I'm really living it out here. And since then, I kept walking with the Lord unto this time. Now, knowing Christ has changed my life a great lot, because when I was a Muslim, I always been critical about people and people of other religion. Now, I see people with love. I see people with kindness. In Islam, we believe that our salvation depends on the 5 pillars of Islam. But now, I found that being a Christian, our salvation depends when you trust Jesus into your life. You trust Christ into your life. The Bible is truly God's word, and Christ is who He say He is. And what I learned in the Bible, that God made us in His own image. And the Bible tells us that the image of God is the love and the initiative to appreciate and to understand. And you have a good chance of making yourself right with the Lord. Please do not harden your heart. If God has bring Christian friends to you, open your doors, welcome them, ask questions. God has great plans for you, as how He has great plans for me. You know, people sometimes ask me, what's the difference between Islam and Christianity? I tell them that Islam teaches us what we have to do for God in terms of fasting, zakat, the Hajj, and all the 5 pillars. But Christianity teaches us that what God has already done for us through the person of Jesus Christ. So if you accept Him now as your Lord and Savior, you has already crossed over from death to life.